Okay, everybody, it's Friday. At least I hope you're watching this on Friday. Um, I'm looking right now on page, I need to put my glasses on because I cannot see, page 333. Um, the P&L, if you notice on the website, I mean, some people have asked a couple times, what are things due? Don't forget, you can go on to the hub, the Carnegie Math Pathways, and hit the month option, and it'll tell you when I assign things and when things are due, right? So this P&L, I'm giving you quite a bit of time to do because it's a lesson in itself. It's long. You have to look some stuff up online. So this one isn't due until after spring break as well. I'm just going to go through a couple of the problems. So number one is super easy. I don't think you'll have problems with number one. But number two on the P&L, it says how many square inches are in a square foot. I would draw a square that's 1 foot by 1 foot, then convert those feet to inches, and then take the area of that. So I would draw a picture for that. For number three, you have to look all these up online and then describe what the variables are. So look at that example pretty well, and then do A, B, and C. For number four, they gave you the dimensions of a rectangle, but they're two different units. So be careful with that. They want it in square inches for the first one, so you're going to have to change that feet to inches, and then they want you to do it all in feet, so then you're going to have to change the inches to feet. Okay? So that one is a little tricky. And then this one, either do it in all inches or all feet, but just make sure that you notice that this says a rectangle has an area of 1 square foot and a width of 6 inches. What I would recommend you do is convert this to feet. Okay? You don't have to, but that's what I would do. Okay? All right. So that's number four. And then number five, look up the area of a circle, and don't forget to watch your rounding. They want you to round that to the nearest tenth. For number six, I would draw 2 circles. And so they said draw a circle of 10 inches and a circle with a radius of 20 inches. I actually do that, okay? Do that, and then you can compare the two. It's pretty easy to compare. And then read the little tidbit about volume and draw a picture. So for number 7, I would draw a picture. And then we'll talk about the little description of roots when we get into the problem sets. Okay, so it's a long P&L. Give it a chance, right? I would do that. It's going to take a little bit of time. So that's why I have a long extension on it. And so we're going to do section 3.3 in 2 separate videos, okay? So I'm going to do one now, and we're just going to look at this first problem, problem number 2 about Bob and Carol. And then over break, I'm going to post another one on problem set 3. But for now, just number 3. For now, I want you to work on the P&L, and we're going to look at number 1 and number 2, and then I'll show you what I don't want you to do in the OCEs. And then I'll make another short video. I'll probably do it tomorrow and post it on the rest of this. So this is quite a long OCE. We would have spent 2 days on it if we were face-to-face as well. Okay. So this is all about home improvements, and we're talking about Bob and Carol. And so they just purchased a house, and it has some land to it that goes around the house. And so they said that, just a reminder, that the land is often called a lot. Where your house is on is the lot that you own. And they want to make some home improvements. Okay? So I want you to this is where it would be so nice if we were working together. I want you to look at the drawing that they've given you on page 341, and I want you to find the scale. So look at the scale and try to understand what's happening. So they said the dark border, right? This is their lot that they purchased. The house is right here. And then this is the driveway, this kind of gray area. And then the shaded area to the rear of the house, this right side, right here, this is their backyard. Okay? So on this question, it says review the drawing of the house, and they said, what does the scale mean? Okay? What does the scale mean? So I want you to, right now, if I wish you guys were in your groups, I want you to tell me what one block, the length of one block is, and then I want you to tell me what the area of one block is. And right now, I want you to tell me what the dimension of the, let me write this down. So I want you to tell me the length of a block, okay. I'd like you to tell me what the area of a block is. Okay. And then I want you to tell me what is the dimensions of the yard. Okay, and what is the total area? Of the yard. And you might have to break that up into pieces, okay, because you're going to see there's the yard isn't a perfect rectangle. All right, so stop the video and see what you can make up of this yard. And so this is what I'm talking about. It's not a perfect rectangle. It comes here, but it's missing this. This is not part of the yard because they want to do some improvements on the yard. So pause the video and see if you can make some sense of what the blocks are and how we can figure out how much area we need to cover on our home improvements. Okay, so stop the video and try to gather some intel. All right. So I'm hoping that you saw this scale and that one length of a block is 10 feet. Okay? So the length of one block is 10 feet. And so the area, since these are squares, this would be 10 feet by 10 feet. So one square is 10 feet by 10 feet. So the area is going to be 100 square feet. Okay? All right. So that's important to know because then we need to add up all these blocks to figure out how many square feet we are going to be covering for the yard, especially if we want to put some fertilizer down or reseed it for grass to make it look pretty in the spring and summer. So let's find the dimensions of the yard. Now there's a couple ways that you can do this. Okay? There's a couple ways. I like to look at it as, are you leaving? Bye, buddy. All right, my son is heading out, so I just said goodbye. All right. See you later. Love you too. Okay, this is unedited. That was my son. Okay, so you ready? Let's count how many blocks we're going this way. Now I know we're going to have to add on this little piece, but so I'm going to do the yard, ignoring that strip, and then we'll add that strip on in a minute. So do you see now we're looking at something nice like almost like a nice little rectangle. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Does everyone agree that this is 13 across? So 13 times 10, this is 130 feet, right? It's 13 blocks, and each block is worth 10. So we've got 130 feet going across this way. Okay, now let's count the up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And looks like it's 11 and a half. It's not quite up a full, right? I would say it's about 11 and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half. Okay, so this is 11.5 feet, but I'm sorry, 11.5 blocks, but each block is worth 10 feet. So times 10 would be 115 feet. Okay, so we just did, I'm going to dot this in. We just did this inner piece. So I'm going to pull out my calculator, and I'm going to figure out what the area is of that little piece. So I have 130 feet by 115 feet. So right here I have 14,950 square feet. Okay? But now I have to figure out this little piece right here, and then we'll add these together. Do you see this is still part of my yard? So this is 10 feet, one block, by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 blocks. So 1 by 5.5, one block is 10 feet, and then if we have 5.5 blocks, and they're worth 10 feet apiece, then this is going to be 55 feet up and down. So this little area right here is going to be 550 square feet. Or you could have gone, this is 100 square feet, 200, 300, 400, 500, and then half of one would be 50. So there's 550 if you wanted to add up the blocks. Okay, so that is this part. Here's this part. So let's do the total. So we have 14,950 plus 550. So their total yard is going to be worth 15,500 square feet. Okay, I'm going to go over it again just to make sure that it's making sense. So I counted 13 blocks this way. 13 blocks, and they're each worth 10 feet. So do you see that that's why I got 13 times 10 is 130 feet. This is 11.5 blocks. They're each worth 10 feet, so that would be 11.5 times 10 would give you 115 feet. Or you could have gone 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 115, because it's only half. Right? Each tick mark from here to here is worth 10. So we took that product, okay? We took that product, and that's going to give you the total square footage here. And then we have this dimension by this. This is 10 by 10, 20, 30, 40, 55. That's going to give us 550 square feet. And so when I add them together, that's our total square footage. We okay? All right. So let's look at what Bob and Carol want to do with their yard. So it says Bob and Carol want to get their backyard fertilized and reseeded. So they found an ad for Jerry's Green Team Lawn Service. And this is their ad right here. Okay, this is the ad. So when Jerry came to his house, he said he looked around their yard. And if you've ever had, your parents have ever done this, they just kind of look at their yard and then they pop a number out of their head. This kind of happened to me, and the people weren't very honest, and they were going to charge me way too much. Little did they know that I had some math background that I could figure out beforehand how much it should cost. So Jerry came, just kind of looked around and said, it's going to take about a half a day. So I am assuming a half a day would be 4 hours. If you think of an 8-hour workday. So he said it's going to take half a day, so that's about 4 hours, and it's going to cost $600. Now, do we want to take Jerry at his word, or are we going to be smart and use some of our math background to kind of have an idea of how much it should cost already based on his ad? Okay? All right. So here we go. So let's just say, all right, let's do this part right here. So we're going to have 3 costs: the grass seed, the fertilizer, and labor. All right? We've got 3 costs. So we can do the labor pretty easily right now, right? He said it's a half a day, 4 hours, and it says 4 hours at $45 per hour. So what are you going to tell me that we need to do for that? Like, how much is it going to cost in labor? What do you think? Right? 4 hours at $45 per hour. So it looks like he's going to charge us $180 in labor based on his ad. Are we okay so far? So now we have to do the grass seed and the fertilizer. Now look, we calculated the square footage of the yard. Let me find it. The backyard is 15,500 square feet. So for every 1,000 square feet, they claim they need 4 pounds of fertilizer, or 4 pounds of grass seed. And then they're going to tell us how much they're going to charge per pound. So we're going to set up some unit ratios. Or, if you'd rather think about it as a proportion. We can do proportions or unit ratios. I'm looking at how I did it earlier. I did it with proportions. So let's set up some proportions. If you like solving these with unit ratios, go for it. All right. So we need to know how many pounds of grass seed they're going to need, right? So they said, and I'm going to put this as grass seed. I'm going to do the work right here for the grass seed. So they said it's going to take 4 pounds of grass seed for every 1,000 square foot. So I want to know then how many pounds they're going to need for 15,500 square feet. Does that make sense? So, what do you guys remember about solving proportions? Oh, I wish you were here to answer it. Do you guys remember that you need to cross multiply to solve a proportion? So we'll take x times 1,000, and that's going to equal 4 times 15,500. So what's 15,500 times 4? Okay, so that's 62,000, and that's going to equal 1,000x. Remember, x is the number of pounds I need. So to solve for x, let's divide both sides by 1,000. And if you do that on your calculator, you should get you need 62 pounds. All right, so what does Jerry say that you need to pay per pound. So look up the article. He says he's going to charge us $1.25 per pound. Okay, so let's do this up here. So we have 62 pounds, and it's $1.25 per pound. So 62 times $1.25 looks like it's going to charge us $77.50 per pound. All right, so now we have the two labor, and we have how much they're going to charge in grass seed. So now I'd really like you to stop the video, if you can. Stop the video and now do the same thing that we did for grass seed, but do it for fertilizer. Okay? So stop the video, see if you can set up a proportion to figure out how many pounds of fertilizer we're going to need. Okay? So stop the video and see if you can figure out, by looking at the grass seed, how to figure out how much fertilizer we're going to need. And then start the video back up and see how you did. All right, so let's see. According to his ad, if for every 50 pounds of fertilizer, you can cover 12,000 square feet. So then we need to know how many pounds of fertilizer we will need for 15,500 square feet. Right, and this is going to be number of pounds when we solve for x. So cross multiply, right? So we'll have 12,000 times x equals 50 times 15,500. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out what the, let me set this so you guys can see it. Okay, here we go. 50 times 15,500. This is 775. So 775,000 equals 12,000x. So then we have to divide by 12,000. Okay, and then if we divide by 12,000, now this says we're going to need about 64.583 pounds. So do you think we can actually buy 64.583 pounds? I'm thinking they're going to just make us buy 65 pounds. So we're going to round up. We'll have a little bit left over. Okay, so how much would we be paying in fertilizer? Well, Jerry says they're going to charge us 50 cents per pound. So if we have 65 pounds and they're going to charge us 50 cents for each of those pounds, let's figure out how much that's going to be charged for fertilizer. So be able to see this. So 65 times 50 cents, 0.50, looks like we'll have to pay $32.50 in fertilizer. All right. So according to his ad, we should be paying $180 in labor, $32.50 in fertilizer, and $77.50 in grass seed. But Jerry said, I'm going to charge you $600. What should Jerry have been charging according to his ad? Jerry is almost double, or he doubled what he should have been charging us than what he said in his ad. So this is why it's really, really important, right? For things like this, if they give you an ad, you know the math now to be able to fact check what they are giving you as a quote and what you should be actually paying according to their ad. And this actually happened to me. And they were charging me a few $100s more than according to their ad. And of course I called them out on it. And believe me, if this was the case, Jerry all of a sudden charged me $290 rather than the $600. So we have to be smart consumers and know that we have the power and the math skills to question some of this stuff. All right, so I'm going to stop it there because I know that the P&L is going to take a long time, and the OCEs, I'm going to tell you which ones that you can start and which ones I want you to ignore for right now, okay? So, cross off number 2, as always. Cross off number 2, okay? Look at my notes. And I want you to not worry about question number 6. Don't worry about question number 6. It's so long and so involved that when I make the second video, I'm going to work this one out for you. Okay? So you don't have to worry about those. And I would hold out on the rest of these, except for, I mean, you could do number 1 and you can do number 3. Those are pretty easy. Those are where you have to look up formulas, and you can do number 4. But hold out. There's only 2 left. You just have 5 and 6. We're going to look at 5 and 6 on the next video. I want you to do, we're going to end up having you do 5, but I'm going to do 6 for you. I'm going to show you how to do it. So I don't want you even to worry about 6. So it's a really short OCE. So go ahead, you can try 1, you can try 3 and 4. I'm going to show you how to do 6, and then you should be able to do number 5, okay? So I'll make another video. I'll probably make it tomorrow, but for now I want you to work on the P&L for 3.3. It's posted, it's up, and then you need to read the directions to the oh wow that is posted. There's a lot of directions. I want you to read it. You're going to Zoom room me sometime over spring break. I gave you the times on the video, or on the oh wow. And then you and I are going to make sure you know how to upload pictures with your phone, that you know how to do a Zoom room and turn the video on so I can see you, because that's how we're going to have our exam proctored. Okay? So we will talk to you this week. I'll probably post this other half of this video tomorrow or Saturday. You'll see it, that it's popped up, and then you can finish off that OCE. It's not due till after spring break, the Monday after spring break. Okay, actually I think I have them not due till the Wednesday after spring break, but look on the portal, you'll be able to see that. All right, I will see you guys soon, face to face on Zoom sometime over spring break, and then you can ask me all sorts of questions then. Okay, we'll see you soon.